Nebraska didn't play all that great either. But we made some good stops here and there, and for our defense to shut them out for 3 quarters, and then finally we got a little something going offensively. But they were tough. They played extremely hard. But the fourth quarter, we won the fourth quarter today against them, and had a couple of touchdowns, and our defense was sensational. So great win for all Gamecocks. We're a happy bunch of guys. And like I told the guys, next year's team, they'll try to win 12 because 11's already happened. So we'll have some new goals for next year. Connor had a super game, running, throwing, and so forth. And he's going to get better. He's going to get the ball out of his hand quicker, right, Connor? Okay. All right, questions?
All right, once again, if you could wait for a microphone, and we'll open it up to Q&A there.
Coach, I think these players will be expecting some rings here soon. I think you talked about that. What sort of motivation was that for these guys?
No, I don't know how much motivation all that was. We tried not to talk about all that. 11 wins. We did say, hey, if we're fortunate enough to beat these guys, we will get rings for you guys. So we saved about $300 or $350 out of their allotment from the bowl, so they can get rings. We'll have a big old 11 on them, and it really is neat that this group of seniors can say, hey, I played on the best team ever, South Carolina. The record speaks for itself as the best team ever. Yeah.
Connor, it seemed like Nebraska was kind of dropping 7 back on every play. Did that kind of throw you out of your rhythm early? It seemed like you were having a little trouble picking up an open receiver.
You know, it's a little bit of that, but I got to get the ball out of my hand, like Coach said. You know, Alshon had a spark for us in the first half, and we carried on the second half and had a much better third and fourth quarter.
Coach, the sequence of events at the end of the second quarter turned out to be big.
Yeah, it did. It really did. We got the ball back with, 37 seconds, I think, and hit a couple passes, were we at midfield? How far was that pass to Alshon? 51, that's close to midfield. And, you know, he put 3 out there and throw it up in the air, and Connor made the play because they knew he was rolling out to the wide field. Everybody does it, so we do the same thing. We tell somebody to pull him up and somebody to try to make sure the guy doesn't even throw the ball. If he doesn't get a chance to throw it, obviously he can't hit it. So Connor rolled out and dodged 1 or 2 guys and stumbled a minute, didn't he? And the next thing I knew, he got his feet and got a good throw on it. And I don't know if the wind carried it right beyond one of their guys or what. But I looked up and I saw Alshon pluck it out of the air. And then I think he made an excellent dive into the end zone to go about another 3 or 4 yards. So that was obviously a big play. It got it to 16-13. And then they had that drive at the start of the second half and got no points. They were down on our 8-yard line. And they messed up, and we threw them for some sacks. And they had a lot of penalties, very, very unlike Nebraska teams to have as many jumps and offsides as they had. But that was good for us. And then they missed the field goal. And then after that, our defense really, really stymied them the rest of the day.
Steve, you mentioned about winning the fourth quarter. How key was Kenny Miles for the plays he made for you in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, Kenny had a good game. Didn't have a bunch of yards, but he had enough. He 15 carries, 68, which was pretty good. And gosh, Connor, he ran 19 times. That's too many, you know. But the last one, I got to give Coach Elliott credit. He said getting that little unbalanced formation and 3rd and 6, hopefully they'll be playing for the pass. And we just told the receivers to run everybody off. And sure enough, we got some blocking out there by Buster Anderson and I think our tight end Justice and Buster. That's slipping my mind. But they made some good blocks, and they kind of cut it up in there and made about 20, 25 yards that really, really sealed the game right there, and so forth. But yeah, the guys played hard. I know it wasn't a real pretty game. Somehow or another, we ended up with 30 points, which for only 350 yards, and not scoring on the 1-yard line one time. I think it's the first time all year we failed to score on the 1-yard line. But as it turned out, it did not cost us.
Steve, they scored on the first 2 possessions. How concerned were you at that point? And what adjustments did you guys end up making to slow them down?
Yeah, I thought, oh man, we got to score with them if it's going to be one of these kind of games. But our defense, I think we really kept playing about the same stuff. Coach Ward will have to tell you if we did anything different. I think our guys just were in position, just played a lot better. And we got some minus plays by Nebraska. That helped. They had penalties and sacks. And, when you have a bunch of minus plays, it's hard to go anywhere. And that was helpful for us, certainly. And but our guys, maybe it caused them. You know, we're moving around a little bit. And they were trying to change plays and all that kind of stuff. And their guys jumped quite a bit.
Connor, can you just talk about your season? You started as the starter, then you were the backup for a while, then you end up as the starting quarterback in the game that made school history. Just kind of sum up your season here in a few words, if you can.
It was pretty special. It was a team effort today. I'm proud of our team. We battled through adversity all year. It's good to finish from a positive note and 11th win.
Steve, kicking game had some issues today with the kickers and punters. Was there anything with the footballs, or did you guys have an off day? What happened?
Now, where do you live? Seriously?
Yeah, South Carolina.
Oh, you do? Well, we've had issues with kicking game all year.
Coach Butler was checking the ball.
Coach Butler, he's hung up. The ball doesn't have enough air in it or something. Every time punter shanks one. No, we're not. Joey's a great kid. He does the best he can. You never see me yell at the punter when he kicks one of those 25-yarders. Because he does it in practice all the time, too. I mean, it is what it is. And when Jay kicked that one out of bounds, I mean, Jay, what are you doing? I asked Coach Butler, what's he trying to do? And he's over there demonstrating to Jay, supposed to drive the ball. And I said, Coach Butler, do you realize you're on television right now acting like an idiot? Trying to demonstrate how to kick the ball or something. So anyway, now we've had issues all year, and I'm always worried that some game field position was going to kill us. And first half, they had the field position, but we hung in there and held them from a lot of points. And then after that, we were a little bit better. But we've had issues with that all year. Hopefully we can get better.
Connor, is there anything you take from this game that you can take on for next season?
I think just momentum going into next season after a big win is huge for our program, huge for our fans. I think what you can take from this game is just momentum carrying into the off-season workouts.
Yeah, one thing you always got to worry about also, you don't celebrate too long. You know, we'll celebrate a little bit like you should, and then maybe by spring practice time, we'll regroup and start getting next year's team ready to go. But according to the replay, Alshon, you didn't slug at that guy, did you? They said he just sort of gave him a push or something. Yeah, I was never swung at a guy since he's been here, and I told that referee, I said, it doesn't sound like him. I hope you tell that guy called him, he needs to be right, because that was, well, whatever. I might get in trouble. We'll have to wait and see the replay. Let's go see. Everybody get a chance to see the replay, I guess.
This is for Alshon and Connor. If you could give me your viewpoint, I'm putting it back, straight back. Could you give me your viewpoint of that play at the end of the first half, the scoring 51-yard play? And also, what does it mean for you guys to see this program evolve under Coach Spurrier into an 11-win team?
I mean, play before halftime, we practice all the time, but normally I'll tip it to someone. But I mean, I seen the chance. Coach Spurrier always tell me if I got a chance to catch it, and try to score. So that's what I did. But I mean, for the season, I mean, Coach Spurrier always write down at the beginning of the season in camp, he'll write down the goals we had to set. So I mean, he had goals set, try to win 11 wins, and try to do things that we ain't never did for the first time. So that's what we try to do.
Yeah, on the play before half, my job was to get on the edge and loft it up so our receivers can make a play. That's what he did, and he had a heck of a job of catching it and diving in the end zone. And with the 11th win, it's huge for our program. This is why we come to South Carolina. It's a lot of things that, a lot of first things to do here, and that's what we did this season.
Steve, what does it say about this team for them to be able to have the 11-win year despite all the adversity earlier in the year?
Well, Marcus got hurt. That was, that hurt us a little bit there as we went. But Kenny Miles and Brandon Wiles. Brandon had 3 big games this year. He was a little sluggish today or something, so Kenny played most of it. But Marcus should be full go next year. Surgery's coming along, and he should be ready to go. But when a guy gets hurt or something happens to another guy, you plug in the next guy and go from there. And Connor was ready. He was ready when his chance came, and we all knew that. So it wasn't like, hey, we're in trouble. We never were in a lot of trouble because we got a defense that can play. We got receivers, quarterbacks. We got ball players. So you just keep playing the game. And fortunately, we won a bunch of close games. And today really was a close game until I guess about the fourth quarter there. So it was sort of neat. I tell you, it's neat for South Carolina to beat Nebraska in the fourth quarter. I mean that says something. We're a little different than maybe years past. And finish in the top 10, all that kind of stuff. And have a defense that I think was fourth in the nation coming into this. Gee, if you got a bunch of guys play like that, you can win against anybody. So anyway, got a lot of them coming back, and we're going to try to have a big year next year.
Connor, on that first drive in the fourth quarter where you guys were able to go up by 10 points, you had a big third down and 18 pass to Ace. Could you just kind of talk about, that was a huge play in the game, obviously, what you saw on that play and how big Ace was in terms of making those type of plays after Alshon left the game?
Yeah, he was able to line up the receiver or the defensive back, and coaches did a great job of calling that play, and our offensive line did a great job blocking, and I was able to have time to throw it to him, and he made a great catch.
Alshon, here in the back, have you ever been the MVP and ejected from the same game? And just kind of your feelings looking back on it?
I mean, things like that, getting ejected from the game, that's just something that just happened in the moment. I mean, I ain't never been an MVP, but I mean, it's great. I guess someone voted me the MVP, so I mean, it's great.
George.
Coach Spurrier, right here in front of you. Coach, you've had a lot of, I saw you engaging with the fans and whatnot quite a bit after the game. You also did that quite a bit at Florida during your days there. Do you find that the college experience has been, compared to some other places you've coached, kind of among the most rewarding just because of the fact you seem to be a college guy, if you will?
Well, it's a team effort. It is a team effort. We're not much of a football team if we don't have 80,000, 83,000 at Williams-Brice and about, 25,000 come down here. I mean, it's a team effort, and they're a big part of the big team. Just like university officials, faculty, students, it's all part of it. So we try to include them, and they do their part. The band, the cheerleaders, all of them. And they're part of the big team. And if you go downtown Orlando tonight, I imagine our Gamecock students will be smiling a lot more than those Nebraska students or cheerleaders or whoever. And that's why the game's so important. It's important to so many people. It really is. And it's neat to win so many games this year for the Gamecock fans that have paid their dues, like I said when I took the job. And they've been to so many of these bowl games. And finally this year, I mean, we'd lost our last three. Finally this year, they're going to be smiling, driving back to Columbia or flying or wherever they're going. And they'll be smiling tonight also. And I'll be smiling out there with them somewhere. We'll be smiling somewhere.
Could you all comment on how the offensive line plays, particularly Cal? Were we all surprised with the changes, how well they played?
Is that for me? Yeah, Kyle played pretty well in there, and Matulis, I think about all of them went the distance. AJ Can, TJ, and Rokevius. Rokevius had a good game down on the goal line. And Coach Elliott, Sean Elliott, called a bunch of those plays, fourth downs and so forth. And he told Rokevius, said, "You make sure you knock that guy backwards a little bit, and we'll make this thing." So I think Connor and our running backs, we made a couple of those fourth downs over him. And then he also called that sweep play. I think I mentioned earlier that Coach Elliott said, just tell him to run with it. They all backed off. Maybe he'd take off. Sure enough, it happened pretty well like that.
All right, we have time for two more.
Can you talk about, Connor, can you talk about what it's like to have a target like Alshon out on the field and, going to go and make a play for the ball, and then what changes and how you adjust when you lose him?
It's huge having him on the field. like I said, he had a great first half, and my job is to get the ball just near him. I know he's going to go catch it. It's always good to have him out there. It's unfortunate in the second half, but it's the way the game goes sometimes.
This is for Steve and Alshon. Coach, do you think you watched Alshon catch his last pass for the Gamecocks, and Alshon was at your last reception for the Gamecocks right before the half?
Well, Alshon knows my opinion on all that, and we've said it many, many times. We think if our guys are first-round picks, they should go. If they're not, and they can improve their status for another year, we hope they stay and play. But that's going to be up to Alshon. It's not up to me. And I think he'll do some diligent research and make a smart decision. Right, Alshon?
Yes, sir. I feel the same way like Coach said. We'll sit down and talk about it. My family sit down and talk about it. But we're just going to try to make the best decision.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks.
Another great season.